You are listening to the Modern Polyamory podcast, a podcast all about polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, swinging, kinks, and more. Now, let's get on to the show. Hi, I'm Jan, and welcome to Modern Polyamory. Today, we are going to be talking about friends with benefits, and I have Kyle here with me, as always.
Hello.
So, have you ever had a friend with benefits?
I have, yes. I think friends with benefits might be something that 99% of our actively dating viewers might have had in one point or another. That might be a little high speculation, but
For sure.
I think pretty much everybody has practiced this form of non-monogamy and not really known that they were non-monogamous.
Exactly. So, fun fact, in 2017, some very influential research was done on people who had participated in consensual non-monogamy. And it was around 1 in 5, which is a substantial amount of people.
Yeah.
However, in the definitions, it did not define these friend with benefits or hookup culture kind of relationships
It's great.
as non-monogamy. But as we know, they 100% are non-monogamy.
Yes, it's true. Because through lack of communication and, scheduling dates on different days, a lot of friends with benefits, you could have multiple of them and be seeing multiple people without ever really establishing this type of commitment. But what really do you think, Jan, that defines a friend with benefits situation?
So I think friend with benefits, this is a situation where there's not a commitment and there's a consensus between the two people involved that there's not a commitment. And also that usually that it's the benefits are sexual in nature. So there's not a whole lot of relational things that happen. You don't build a lot of relationships with these people, tend to not be as frequently like visited.
Sure. Or, in some friend with benefits situation, maybe they're visited a lot,
Yeah, true.
The excuse could be that, hey, dating's a real bummer right now.
It's true.
You want to come over and hang out and see what happens.
Yeah. So what do you like about a friend with benefits?
Well, if you're not actively identifying as polyamorous or non-monogamous, right, it is a way you can essentially test drive, for lack of a better term, a partner before you engage in some serious commitment. It's a way of putting a relationship halfway together, like the ghost of the relationship or something like that.
For sure. My best experience with a friend with benefits is somebody who is still a friend to this day. We still discuss our lives and keep in touch with one another, although we have not actually been present in the room together since 2019, I guess.
Right.
But I think that it was just a really good experience for him, for me as well.
Sure.
Because I had never had that dynamic with anyone. I had always had feelings because I'm very demisexual. So it's like when I'm giving my body over, there's usually feelings. There was for him, but he specified ahead of time that he wasn't comfortable with polyamory, but he didn't mind that I was married.
Sure.
And he just wanted to keep things physical with, we would have a good, deep friendship.
Sure.
And we did.
Yeah. And
we still do.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with having a relationship that is based around, the physical aspects of it, a sporting type of relationship.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it never got serious. And when I had to move away from Jacksonville, I don't feel like I mourned that because we still stay in contact.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a different dynamic with, a true friend with benefits situation.
Right. I didn't mourn that.
Yeah.
But I think if it was you, I would.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
You've definitely graduated beyond just the physical.
Yes.
Just the sporting.
Just the sporting. But the sporting's great.
Sporting is great. Yeah, absolutely. But there are pitfalls with
For sure.
A friend with benefits situation.
For sure.
What are some of those?
At some point in time, if they are not warmed to polyamory, you may have to bid them adieu.
Right.
They may find a steady partner that they want to commit to that is not okay with him having another partner or her,
right.
Or they. So having to end it.
Sure.
How do you end it?
Sure. Yeah. How do you let the other person know? It's like, hey, I've found someone to be monogamous with, and we're gonna have to stop playing racquetball on the weekends. You know what I mean? Right. So definitely there's the complications of having to find an end. Of course, another complication that I think is worth mentioning is what if someone starts catching feelings in the pair? It goes from being something casual to being something a lot more serious.
I think it's on the onus of the person who is catching the feelings to process those feelings.
Right.
And maybe that's something that you can bring up ahead of time if you're building a relationship with somebody that is friends with benefits in nature, is to put that kind of up in the forefront, like, I want to do it like this.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. It's friends with benefits typically lack greatly in communication, though.
Yeah.
So this is where you get a lot of your rom-com situations where, say, it was really casual, but now it's not, and there was that moment in the park,
right?
And now everything is Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
It's gone full emo.
Yeah. I also think that it's okay to use some of the skills you have with checking in with people.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a loose relationship that turns into something a little bit more serious.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, one of the ways that we could, make a friend with benefit situation work better, as with any relationship, is more communication.
100%.
Yeah. Seems like almost entirely all the pitfalls with an FWB friendship is the lack of communication.
Yes, 100%. Oh, I like this one. So one of the common myths is that it's just sex.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be sex,
Maybe those benefits are that they pick you up from the airport. That's a big benefit.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. It doesn't have to be sex.
You don't need an Uber.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times these situations, it's loneliness is an epidemic. And sometimes it's nice to just have someone that can be a companion without all of the strings attached with it.
For sure.
Yeah, especially if you're practicing monogamy.
Right.
So what are some of the key points from having a friend with benefit and managing that do you think our viewers should reflect on?
So I think that we need to be open to the idea that having a friend with benefits is a form of consensual non-monogamy. So you might want to reframe the way that you think about relationships in general.
That's right.
Away from monogamy and into something that's a little bit more loosey-goosey.
Right, yes.
I think they call that monogamish.
Monogamish.
Monogamish is when maybe you prefer monogamy, but this works.
Right.
Like not Mr. Right now.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, especially, as our lives are winding and complicated, you might be in a transitionary state in your life, and settling down with someone just really isn't something that makes sense. So,
and sometimes they're just attractive enough that you want to take that trip.
Right. Yeah. And then that's where things, slide into that realm of polyamory, where you're starting to develop, the ability to let yourself have multiple relationships while maybe maintaining a current relationship.
Right. So have you ever had a friend with benefits situation before? What worked for you and what didn't work for you? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah. How many friends with benefits is too many?
Is there too many?
There might be.
The limit does not exist.
It could.
Could it?
Let us know below.
Sure.
In the comments. We will respond to them.
100%.
100%. Don't forget to check out our website, modernpolyamory.com.
That's where we're going to put a lot of all of this information. So check out the blog and follow us on social media at polyamory in most places.
Yeah, we're all over the place. However you like to connect, let's connect.
All right. We are back with another episode of the Gravy Boat of Love. Is that what we call this?
I don't really know yet.
At this point, we don't know.
We have here a crystal gravy boat full of dozens of polyamorous terms and terminology. And careful.
There's so many. They're falling out of the gravy.
There are tons, and we're going to be constantly adding to it. This will be kind of a running segment.
Yes.
So we're going to be pulling some terms out of here, letting you know what they mean, and maybe sharing a little insight.
Would you like to go first, dear?
Okay. I can do that. Our first one today. Let's grab this one on top. Easy pickings. All right. Today, what is a primary, secondary, and tertiary partner?
Oh.
Jan?
Well, these are hierarchical terms. And I think that right now, a lot of people are trying to kind of dismantle systems of hierarchy and polyamory. And I really support people doing that because I think that equality is going to be really hard to come by these days. So it's probably a good idea to work on those things in your polyamory. But we can still talk about it because these are still terms that people cling to and need to use. So your primary partner is usually the person who you are in the relationship where the opening started.
Sure.
And then your secondary partner would be the person that you take on as a partner next after you have a primary partner.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like the term secondary diminishes a little bit.
Right, yeah. We could definitely do a whole segment about this.
For sure.
Yeah, so this is a passionate topic, but so you know, primary, secondary, tertiary, these are ways people describe their partners in a poly relationship.
But I think the tertiary is probably like you're just dating, right? Like you're just dating that person, tertiary.
It could be.
Like they're not around as often.
One of your comet relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That was another one from the last segment.
From last time.
All right. Your turn.
Oh, yes, it is my turn. I'm just offering up my gravy.
Oh, my goodness. This is a family show. It's not.
Triad.
Triad.
A 3-person polyamorous relationship, often called a throuple.
Yeah. And they kind of shut it off after that.
Right.
Because they'll be like, we're satisfied.
Right. That's a polyfidelity. That was also a term from last time.
True. Yes. And then that was, I think that was the basis of the HBO show on polyamory.
I think so.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it. So
in a triad, this is where there are 3 people, like a throuple, and everyone dates everyone.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not a V.
It's not a V.
Everybody's dating. It's a connected triangle.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it could be all men, all women, or a mix of any genders, really.
For sure. Yeah. And then also, like, with our relationship, why are we not a triad?
Who?
Me and you and husband.
Well, I like your husband, but I'm not like your husband.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not a triad if your 2 partners are not dating each other as well.
Right. So that would be a mislabeling.
Right. That would be a V.
A V.
Yeah.
Yes. It's still in the boat, I believe.
It's still in the boat. V is still in the boat.
There, hold the boat.
I got the boat.
Okay. Wouldn't it be crazy if we got that one next?
Yeah.
Okay. Aromantic. What is aromantic?
Well, to me, it would sound like not romantic. Like you're not into romance.
Having a low or non-existent romantic imperative or interest.
Sure.
Sometimes shortened to aro.
Aro.
Yeah, so I'm an aro.
With these would aromantic people just be looking for friendship, or would they just be looking for like the physical?
They might just be looking for the physical. I mean, you got to remember there's a lot of people out there who are possibly on the spectrum themselves.
Sure.
And romance might not be a feeling that they crave or feel very much.
Right.
So that's how you would describe that type of person.
Hold the boat.
The boat of gravy, yeah. We don't have it on the table today. We
I'm going to dig down to the bottom.
Oh my God. There's gravy everywhere. Gravy of knowledge.
Let's see. Hot wifing.
Hot wifing.
Hot wifing.
Finally.
Okay.
I know there's some exciting terms in here. We've just been digging up all of the real square ones. So what's hot wifing?
So this is a dynamic where a husband enjoys watching or knowing his wife sleeps with other men.
Yes. And it seems to be pretty popular. I don't know if I'm just running into them.
Hot wives?
I guess as a male looking for relationships with women, you would be approached for hot wifing a lot more than a woman would.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. But I feel like I have been approached for hot husbanding.
There's a name for that.
Is it hot husbanding?
Think it's cuck queening?
Cuck queening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's in here, and we will be getting to it. It could be the next one.
It could be.
So,
you never know.
Hot wifing. Next one we got here. Oh, the V.
The V. It is the V.
The V. V-E-E.
So we just talked about the V.
Yes, it's a poly relationship where one person has two partners who are not involved with each other.
Correct.
So Jan would be the V, right?
Correct.
Yes.
I would be the hinge in that.
Yes, the hinge and the V.
The hinge and the V.
Yes.
What brings two metamors together? That's also in here.
Need help with the bowl? My hands are
You've got so much to juggle.
Double fist in it.
It's so funny. I said metamor is in here and I pulled it.
We pulled it. Metamor. So Dan, what's a metamor?
Your partner's partner whom you may or may not interact with. So you do not have to interact with your metamor. A lot of people choose not to. And sometimes people are hesitant to want to meet their metamors.
That's true. I'm in a relationship now where I have not met the other metamor in the relationship at all. And in fact, I think it's kind of how they prefer to keep it.
Sure. So
everybody has kind of a different way of introducing and integrating everybody. Not everybody is KTP.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I like to know my metamors for sure.
I do too.
I think it's good. I like the kitchen table dynamic. I think that metamors can become really great friends and support for each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, I have a metamor now who I call a meta maybe more because we haven't exactly determined if there's going to be more, but yeah.
Yeah.
Meta maybe more.
Yeah. And when one of my very first poly relationships, I was great friends with my metamor long after that relationship ended.
Nice.
Yeah. We ended up being like real good homies.
Yeah.
For years and years.
For sure.
So.
For sure. I think as long as, like, if the relationship doesn't work out, but as long as nobody was like wrong, real wrong, then like, I feel like the friendship can withstand things.
Yeah. Should we pull one more?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do one more.
One more. All right, here we go. We'll go from the bottom now.
Start it.
I'm digging deep in the folds. All right, here we go. Monogamish.
Yeah.
A mostly monogamous relationship with occasional non-monogamous experiences.
Right.
I feel like this is kind of another way to describe swinging.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
We're like, you know, Ted and Brandy are monogamish.
Right.
Because they swing on the weekends.
Also, you are in a monogamous relationship most of the time, but maybe once a year.
Yeah. I feel like this could be a good way to describe things like the 100-mile rule
Sure.
policy, or maybe the don't ask, don't tell, where it's non-monogamy, but it leans closer to the monogamy spectrum.
For sure.
Really.
For sure. And then, like, I know a lot of monogamish people that maintain monogamous relationships, like their entire relationship, except for that 1 week when they go to Burning Man.
Oh, sure.
And then it's like, hall pass.
The Vegas vacation.
The Vegas vacation. The convention.
Oh, the bachelor party.
The bachelor party. That's
right. Yeah, you get a hall pass on the bachelor party.
Sure.
Get it out of your system. So that's a lot of instances where non-monogamish might be used for monogamy people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's been the gravy boat of love for this episode. And as you can see, we still have many more.
Many more to come.
We'll continue to
stay at the edge of your seat for.
And we will continue to keep you guys updated with all of the new jargon as we find it. We will put it in the gravy boat.
Yes.
And at some point, we will get to it.
Yes, and if you have some terminology that we don't know about, we'd love to hear about it. Head over to our social media accounts and our website and Discord. Jump on in the conversation and let us know. We would love to hear what you want to hear about.
Absolutely.
On the podcast.
Yes. And it's the best place to get in contact with us on like a personal level. I know I'm highly participatory in the Discord. So if you want to get in touch with me,
one-on-one
Discord is a good place to go. Yes, I will. If it's really important, I will take time out of my day for somebody.
Dedication.
I'm here for you.
Hey, everybody. We're on the Modern Polyamory podcast, and today we're talking about jealousy versus compersion.
So compersion is a new word. It's been entered into the social polyamory lexicon.
Yes.
And compersion is the idea that you can feel joy from the joy of your partner.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of your alternative to jealousy and a way to reshape things that are actually going to be appreciating what is good in your partner's life. If they're happy with a partner,
sure,
and they're content, then your happiness stems from their happiness, and everybody can love each other.
Absolutely.
Rather than having this kind of tug of war and jealousy over one partner or multiple partners.
Yeah. And anyone who's ever been jealous knows that that's a pretty strong emotion. And if you have another partner who is off having sexual relations with another partner, it is easy to slide into feelings of jealousy.
It is very easy and 100% natural. And
it is.
Common myth is that polyamorous people do not experience the emotion of jealousy, and that is just not true.
That is a huge myth. So what gets to the root of these emotions?
So I think that one of the main drivers with jealousy is this feeling of insecurity.
Right.
When you see your partner happy with another partner, do you immediately go to a place of compersion, which wasn't always the case for me. Right. I didn't immediately just go to a place of compersion. When I came into polyamory, we didn't even have the word polyamory yet.
Yeah.
And we were just in an open relationship, and my insecurity would come in thinking like, well, what if he decides that he likes her more than me?
Yeah.
And then they go off and then I'm alone.
Yeah, it really, most of the time, jealousy is a feeling that you're going to lose something precious to you to somebody better.
Right.
And compersion replaces that emotion with a much more pleasant feeling, that's for sure.
I like to feel through this, through these feelings of jealousy, I like to remind myself that this person probably wouldn't be with me and telling me that they care about me and that they love me. They don't.
Right.
So I find that I can get rid of a lot of insecurity just by trusting the things that my partner says are true.
Absolutely.
And I have no reason not to.
Right. When you have good, clear lines of communication, it's real reassuring when you are told something. You don't have to second guess it.
Exactly. And I think the communication in this situation is like super duper important. Anytime that you start feeling a little bit of like jealousy, it's also a good idea to try and reframe that emotion. Is it really jealousy, or what else are you feeling? Are you feeling afraid that you might be losing the attention of your partner? Is there really a problem? Is there a feeling of inadequacy that you have to approach within yourself, or is it actually that you're being neglected? Because I think some people do get a little polysaturated. That's a little fresh term, but that polysaturation can cause and drive jealousy. And it's a lot harder when you are the partner of someone who's polysaturated to say, yeah, it's fine.
Absolutely. And it's
I'm on the shelf, but it's cool.
Yeah, one of the definite triggers that I think we could all say we experience is when a need you want to have met is being met to your partner's partner. Right? And then that can create some of those spicy emotions, those feelings of jealousy. So these are really more things that are signals rather than a bad emotion. So when you feel jealousy, that's kind of the sign that it's time to talk.
And also, I do believe that like the time that you've been together, kind of as time goes by, you tend to grow a little bit closer to your partner. Trust is built up a little bit more. You understand how things are working and how things aren't working. You're doing your check-ins.
Yep.
And that grows into a more trusting relationship. So you have less moments of jealousy, less moments of insecurity, less moments of fear and concern of losing your partner. And you end up going into more of a situation where you can kind of lean into compersion. You can see your partner happy and in love with someone else. And you're just like, yeah, that is so good.
Right. So how does somebody get into compersion, right? Because the ability to go into a jealous state is, learned very early on.
Sure.
And is more often reinforced. And compersion is nothing that's been taught.
Right.
I've ever seen. So how does somebody go and find this emotion where they feel happiness for their partner when they're off on a date, alone with somebody else?
Sure. Off on a date when you're alone with somebody else is like a perfect time to really sink into the feelings that you feel. So you stop and you kind of say, so the person's not there and you're thinking about them and they're off on a date, having a good time. And would you want them to be having a bad time?
Right. That's a question you definitely need to ask yourself.
That's a question you can ask yourself. Would you want them to be having a bad time?
Yeah.
Do you have a good, comfortable speaking relationship with their other partner? Is that why? Yeah. Is that why you have some kind of jealousy because you're not really sure about that person?
Sure.
Is that why you have a fear because you're not sure what that person is bringing to the table?
Right. Yeah.
So getting to know the people that your partner is dating is one way to combat jealousy. And also it's very helpful for compersion to see your partner with their other partner.
Right. Yeah.
So you can see their happiness and you can see their joy and you can see their love between them.
Sure.
And you can feel good about it.
So absolutely. So, let's see what we cover so far would be, you would definitely want to listen to your emotions in the strenuous times.
Sure.
To really figure out those insecurities so you could better take care of those. And then we also covered getting to know your partner's partner, your metamor.
Sure.
The better along you get with them, definitely that's going to contribute to the ease of getting into compersion when both people you can feel pretty cool when they're out having fun somewhere.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I know that in our relationship early on, when you first started introducing new partners and old partners that you've gotten back with,
sure,
that it was like a lot of change really fast and something to adjust to.
Sure.
But I've gotten to a point where I've gotten to know both of them, and it's really, really good because I feel good about everything because I know that they're good people.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
That you care about them and they bring you joy.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what polyamory is all about in Compersion. It's that, like, I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And you want me to be happy.
Absolutely.
So we're happy.
And definitely developing these skills with more established partners will help when new love arises too. Because one of the things about polyamory is you don't have to say no to, emotions of the heart, right? So if you do introduce new partners, then having a good ability to have compersive thoughts and feelings towards those partners is definitely going to help with that, hey, I'm not going to see so-and-so as much because, they found someone new. So we may not have as many dates.
Right.
And, you may not be getting as much time, but through compersion that you're not getting any less love and, affection.
Right.
That way.
Right. And as things are going well, you can sink into the knowledge that, like, this is polyamory. Right. So one person doesn't get the full attention of one person.
Right.
And that it's split from time to time.
Yeah.
And then as things change, you can you have a good relationship with each other so that you can kind of say, hey, I'm feeling a little jealous. You've been getting a lot of time and I haven't been getting very much time.
Yep.
And let's look at it and see if this is real or if I'm just tripping.
Yeah.
And then you can go back with the Google Calendar. It's a good idea to go back and look and say, hey, look, this is what we had agreed on. It was working before.
Yeah, absolutely. Managing time is really what it comes down to after you get over the communication and emotion hurdles.
Sure.
So one thing we can't make more of is time. Seconds of the day.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So what are some of the key takeaways from this discussion today that you think everyone should reflect on?
I think that it's really, really important to reflect on the energy that you are bringing to yourself, into your person, because the one thing that you have total control over, and it's not toxic, is yourself.
Sure.
And getting to know you and your emotions. And if you come to a place where you have a confusion, a true confusion, bring that up with your partner.
Yeah.
Take control over your emotions and learn what's jealousy and what's something else.
Right.
Reframing that emotion of jealousy, because we're taught green with envy, you're jealous, and we are brought up in a very monogamous world that teaches jealousy is, expected if your partner is with someone else.
Absolutely. And the way to relieve that is to separate your partner from someone else. Right. In this situation, that's not what we're going for, right?
No.
Yeah. By observing your jealousy and figuring out these underlying mechanisms, you can work through them. And then you just have, a much happier life in general, because you now have these new tools to work through emotions, even in other situations.
And on both sides, be open-minded to what your partner may say from the questions that you may ask.
Right.
Because if you're not open-minded, it's not going anywhere.
That's true.
Then it's just, you exerting some kind of control.
Absolutely.
And that's not going to help you with your negotiations at all.
It won't.
It won't.
So what are some of your personal experiences with jealousy? Leave a comment below.
Absolutely.
Let us know and we will get back to you.
Sure.
Yeah, we love responding to comments.
We do.
And that wraps up today's episode of Modern Polyamory. Jen, what do we want people to do from here?
From here, it would be really cool if you wanted to get in on the communication and get in on the conversation. You can try joining our Discord server.
Absolutely.
The invite link to that is on our website, www.modernpolyamory.com.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads,
TikTok. Yes, we said that one.
Yes, we did say that one, but it's okay. We can say it again.
Sure.
TikTok.
TikTok.
We'll see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.